Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Continuing our international playoffs here in King of the Sea 12. We're excited to bring you this match between the Asia second place team, that's FPM, and the North American third place team, that is XII. Spawning on the north side here of Northern Waters, XII brings a Shikishima and an Ohio, fronted by Double Nevsky, Venezia, and Stalingrad, and out playing all the way in front, Daring, Gearing, and Shimakaze. Stats, what about the FPM lineup?
FPM, the Asian number twos, they are bringing a Montana, an Ohio, a Salem, double Venezia, Stalingrad, double Daring, and a Marceau. Montana is something I would have expected William to be playing, but William's actually in the Shikishima.
Indeed.
Now, I didn't catch much of NA this time, so is that something? I mean, William is kind of known for Montana. Is that right?
Yeah, William is long associated with Montana in this event. We've seen him do ridiculous things with that ship over the years and pull it out of situations that it should have died in, and magically he finds a way to save it. So he's very, very much known for the quality of Montana play he brings to the NA bracket whenever we see XII playing.
But today, fielding the Shikishima, the 6-barrel Japanese marvel that is Shikishima, wearing the lovely camo. I've just realized they're all wearing a lovely team camo. So yeah, we'll see what William, who's kind of known, even on EU, I think we know the name, and yeah, known for those fantastic shots and sticking battleships in places that battleships should not be going, and managing to do well. So we'll be watching William with interest, along with many other of the household names that are in this NA team. Very experienced team. And FPM, not so familiar with the Asian teams, so I'll be watching these guys with interest. First shots are out.
Looks like they're taking shots on one of the XII Stalingrads here as he's trying to make his way over towards the ACAP. Nothing doing, a little bit of chip damage, nothing catastrophic. XII kind of going for an even split here. Double Nevsky, Ohio, Gearing headed to C. Venezia, Stalin, Shiki, and Shimakaze all going to A. You can kind of see FPM's opting for a little bit of an imbalance. They're pushing more ships to the C side. Double Venezia, Montana, Stalin, and Daring, whereas it's just Ohio, Salem, and the lone Marceau at A. As in the middle of the board, we're having a staring contest with both Darings.
So watching Word of Warships in the Marceau there, great name. Just having to duck out of A after capping it, taking a little bit of incoming. As Frice reverses back in Shimakaze into some torpedoes. Frice is going to have to do a little bit of dodging here. I think that looks fine. Yep, he's okay. So Shima will be able to back into A. Of course, it massively outspots that Marceau.
Now, if you were paying attention a few seconds ago, you might have seen William take his first shot of the game, carving a cool 25K off of Kanhana's Ohio down on the H line. So clearly, William, despite being well known for Montana, very comfortable playing Shikishima today.
Yeah, and one of the things I love about casting matches that have a Shikishima in them is you always know when it's firing because you can just hear it in the background. I love the fact that they've done that with those guns.
That sound just shakes you to the core of your bones. It's really fun.
And it's genuinely one of the things I love about playing in a game with a Shiki is that if you're in a cruiser and you hear that sound, it does give you that kind of that tingly feeling of, ooh, did they shoot at me?
That is a very uncomfortable feeling whenever you hear that sound playing in a cruiser in a match with a Shikishima.
Okay, Daring of Kokonoe is just backing around the corner and pushing forward again after those shells land. And there are torpedoes coming from the Gearing from XII. So hopefully this Daring is running Hydro. He's just reversing back around the corner again, so it should be fine.
5 minutes gone. XII flipping the ACAP after surrendering it early to that quick Marceau push. Bagging C now on the strength of Double Nevsky and Gearing smoke, pushing Kokonye's Daring off the bottom end of the cap. So they're moving out to about a 20-point lead here early in the match.
Okay, Noob in the Montana from FPM is pushing up to that central line. That's a very unusual position for a Montana to take. You'd usually expect if you were planning on pushing a battleship in here, you'd probably expect it to be a Kremlin. But I don't think I've ever seen a team push a battleship to this position, so we'll see what they do with this Montana. I'm not sure whether this move was designed to shoot up towards where William the Dank is, or whether it's simply to get it out of being cross-shot by the Nevskys.
I think it's intended to counter the Stalin and Shiki position that William and the Stalin have taken north of A. The Montana just took a shot at that Stalingrad, so he didn't get much out of it because the Stalin's got a pretty solid angle to both battleships right now. But I think, you know, the next shot he takes, can they see William? They can. It'd probably be on William. William's actually trying to find an angle himself.
So Naya in the Salem on the A-cap is making that dangerous run. It's not quite as dangerous from the south side as it is from the north side, but it's still risky. Actually, he does make the island. AP from Venezia.
Oh, that was a nice
I spoke
hit.
too soon. Sorry, Naya. I spoke too soon. I jinxed you. But yeah, Salem now up to the island, safe from John the Ruthless, and able to cover probably most of that cap with its slightly shorter range radar than Des Moines. So yeah, Fries is definitely in range of this Salem here, and so that's going to.
I think we spend so much time talking about Venezia's SAP that we sometimes forget that her AP can be very punishing. The trick is knowing when to fire it and at what.
Yeah, the AP on Venezia is very, I would say, unreliable. In certain circumstances, like that sort of fairly close range against a reasonably broadside cruiser, you're probably going to be reasonably effective. But you do have to choose when to use it very carefully, especially as the SAP is pretty effective most of the time.
07 surrendering the B cap, kind of also surrendering the A cap again. Word of Warships being just very aggressive with the Marceau, probably a little more gutsy than I would be in that ship, if I'm honest. Especially with the Venezia on my
right
flank.
there. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. There comes the radar from the Salem.
Okay, so that's gonna now Warships guns actually aren't on target there, so he's gonna have to actually bring the whole ship around. And that's potentially going to give John the Ruthless a really good volley with this next. Yeah, here it comes. Here is the SAP from John the Ruthless on Warships.
You let it right.
A little bit far back. Warships manages to just get out of the way.
Bryce taking some solid damage as they chase him out of the A cap. 07 out to an early lead, only about 140 points here, as FPM responds by picking up B and forcing 07 out of the A cap.
So with that Salem radar down, that gives Fries the ability to go back in and do some spotting again with that really good concealment that Shimakaze has. So Warships is this cap where you've got the alternating radar from the Salem and then the spotting from the Shima. It's going to keep flipping between FPM's advantage and 07's advantage depending on when that Salem radar is available.
Ooh, Warships just got hammered by something.
I think that was Venezia. That's the danger of being that close to that sap as a destroyer.
You see Fries' 20-kilometer torpedoes. He shoved them through the gap, through the twins there at A, downrange on Noob CV's Montana, and now the Shiki punishes him through the stern.
Konhana just got at least a single citadel through the nose of, through the tail of John the Ruthless Venezia there. Taking him down to about 25k. SAP out on Warships again. A little chunk there. Warships is actually nose into the Venezia, which is going to mitigate most of that SAP. What happened to I am a noob CV?
He's been getting a lot of focus hate. He kind of turned through the middle of the board. William may have citadeled him and taken a shot at him. And then Fries had thrown torpedoes through that gap trying to chase him out. And they've pushed him so far back now that he's not going to be super effective for a while.
And Montana can play at this range, but you're going to play a battleship this far back, you do lose a little bit of map control, at least psychologically. So they're going to want to get that heel through that Montana, maybe turn it around a little bit, get it back in again. Warships is in a kind of risky position here, having to duck in behind this island.
It feels overly aggressive. I'm not entirely positive why they brought him this far deep, kind of north on the top end of the A cap.
Fries just actually took one of the, I think that was Marceau's torpedoes. Yeah, it had
Indeed.
So down to 13-8-8. No heal on a Shimakaze, so that's it for the rest of the match. 13-8-8.
Now, while we've been looking at A for a while, XII has redeployed. They've got firm control of C, and FPM seems not interested in making a big challenge over there at the moment. They've brought Jones's Nevsky back to the top end of B to back up Potato's Daring, who's on the top end of the cap, flipping it steadily as we go. Munon's Daring looks like he might be trying to get back into contest, but it's not going to come in time. XII is going to bag this cap, holding their lead open at about 100 points here as we cross the halfway mark of the game.
So 4 minutes and 15 seconds on the points clock for an 0-7 victory with those two caps. The Daring of FPM will try and get back into block, which will slow that down slightly. But the ball is very much here with FPM to do something. They're going to have to make some kind of move. And looking at the minimap, I'm not sure where that's going to come from. I think the best move they can make right now is to bring the Montana and the Venezias up towards Charlie. Try and start to put a little bit of pressure on Potato quality in the Ohio.
A little bit of pre-radar there from the Stalingrad north of B of 07, trying to catch Munon's Daring as he was, they knew he had to be coming back towards the cap, and he was. So they radared him, kind of pushed him back a little bit. That'll allow them to take up some more points.
Forced Runis and the Venezia from FPM having to turn to dodge torpedoes from the gearing of 07. Managing to just slip through the gap there just fine. Munan having to smoke there, getting spotted by Potato.
07 right now, up a cap, up a ship. And we didn't talk about that, but I mean, I must have missed it, but they did manage to bag Kokone's Daring earlier while we were probably looking at A.
Yeah, I think it was during the shenanigans with Warships there. Okay, Naya and Konhana holding A. I mean, so FPM have pretty good hold of A. Fries is not really able to come close to the cap anymore.
No.
Just continuing to throw those 20-kilometer torps down. Now, let's just talk about that quickly. So we're quite often seeing Shimakazes in King of the Sea being played with 20-kilometer torpedoes, which in random battles is usually not considered to be that effective. But in King of the Sea, that range, despite the fact that they're spotted from 2.5 kilometers away, actually does give you the ability to strike at some of these positions that otherwise would be very, very dangerous. Like, you can see Konhana here turning across these Shimakaze torpedoes. And that Ohio can see these coming from 2.5 kilometers, but they hit really hard because they're Shima torps.
Well, and 07 has been using Shimakazes in this fashion for many events now. And what they do, and you're going to see this out of other teams that field Shimakaze with the 20-kilometer torpedoes, is that they use them to dictate the movements of the enemy team and or attempt to hold them in certain positions. That's exactly what Fries is doing over here on the one line right now, throwing these torpedoes down on Konhana and the Salem to basically keep them honest, right? In the sense of, you're either going to be pushing into these torpedoes, or if you try to leave this position, you're going to be flirting with my torpedoes, which is exactly what happened to Konhana there as he tried to get out from behind that island and turn around. He took a torp.
The fact that they're spotted from so long away, it's almost an advantage in competitive, because as you say, it almost allows you to sort of shepherd the enemy team's ships, because they have to turn in certain directions, and so you can prevent them from getting to where they want to be, or you can turn them broadside to your big hitters.
Move and counter move here at B as Munon's Daring has dived deep into the cap to the backside of the island. Radar from Rosella's Stalingrad pushing Potato 69 off the top of the cap. They're trying to buy Munon enough time to bag the cap, but I mean, even if they do get it, Potato will be back on top of it in seconds and continue to contest it to hold that 07 lead open.
That's the thing. Unless they can get Potato down, they're not going to be able to hold that cap, because Potato, as you said, will just reverse back in and keep it blocked. And so they had to make a move on the only cap that's currently held by 07, Charlie cap. But I don't see where that's going to come from. They've got Forced Runis pushing up, but that Venezia is already down to 16k and coming under fire from Ohio and Pulicat and the Nevsky. So not able to be very aggressive. And the Montana we saw earlier made a Kind of a dangerous push into the middle and is down to 32k. Although getting good shots on Pulicat there.
Yeah, all 07 has to do now is hold what they have as they win on a single cap here in a couple of minutes. As you can see FPM kind of trying to reorient and find a way to break through here. But they don't really have any ships in a position to contest C. And at the moment, that's what they've got to do to get into this game. Either that or bag a kill.
Whilst Darunus being forced here behind the island to shelter from Pulicat, whose HE is doing very consistent damage. AP coming across
all
from
kinds of shells, yeah.
Ohio and
now,
the other Nevsky.
Even the gearing now.
Yeah, they 07 just want to put that nail in.
If they bag this kill, they'll be seconds from victory. There it is.
And that is 18 seconds left on the points clock for 07. The Marceau of Warships will desperately try to get to the cap to block those points. 3 ticks to go. Will he get across the line in time? 1 tick. Nope, doesn't quite cross the line. For an 07 victory. So,
indeed.
That is 07 in this best of 3 series, taking game number 1 of 3. Now, I'm not exactly sure what the studio's plan is for the next game. We may be staying with this match, or we may be moving over to another best of 3, which is about to start. So I'll let the studio explain what their plan is. So SeaRaptor, thank you very much. I think we'll pass back to Prague for some analysis.